Hello guys, welcome to our newest video. Hello, and here I am accompanied with Miss Rezu here. Hi, Miss Rezu.
Hello.
All right, so Miss Rezu, what are we
Yes.
going to do today exactly?
We're going to fight each other.
Okay,
We're
fight
going to
each other.
fight. We're going to have a battle, but not fist fight because I'm physically unable to do it. So I will try to. We will try to do a IELTS listening test, and we're going to battle about it.
Exactly. So we're going to have a versus match, but it will be a battle of mind, not fist. Yeah, of course, no fist, right? So I think we are just going to try to do one of the IELTS test, and that would be the listening test, actually. So I think after the test, we will discuss all of the answers, and then yeah, we will see who will get what score, and that is it. So I think best of luck for both of us.
Lucky.
Lucky. So I hope that
Lucky.
although we are going to have our own versus match, it doesn't mean that you cannot participate. So I will share the whole test on my screen, and then of course all of you who watch this video will be able to do the test by yourselves as well. And of course, I will play the audio for you. All right. So I think rather than just watching us having a match, I think it would be also better if you guys try to do your own test and see your own skill. So yeah, come on, let's go.
Come
We
on,
are
let's
going to do
go.
this fight, all right? Let's go,
Beat
guys.
us.
Let's beat us. Try to beat us, all right? And a word of hint, I think I would highly suggest you guys to use your earphones or headphones or anything like that so that you will get a clearer sound and you can actually answer the questions better. All right? All right then. So, shall we, Miss Rezu?
Yay! I'm not ready.
I'm not ready as well, but let's try to do our best
Let's do
nonetheless.
it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So the question will be this. This is taken from the Cambridge IELTS 10, and here we have test 4. And I think the structure of the IELTS test will be somewhat like this, yeah, for any kinds of tests. So you guys might also learn something new while you are watching our video, yeah. So make sure that you guys try to do it as well. So yeah, it will be able to improve your skill. Am I right, Ms. Rezu?
Exactly, because it's not exactly, but it's kind of similar with the real IELTS test. So,
Exactly. It is similar with
yeah.
the IELTS test. So yeah, we'll try to do our best to do this. And are you already prepared to type or to write down the answers, Ms. Rezu?
Yes, I'm changing my mind. I think I'm going to use the paper.
All right then. A wise choice. While I will try to type it, and let's see. I hope that none of us will have typos or something. All right. That yeah, let's try to
Okay.
avoid typos as best as we can. And you guys who are watching this video, I think you have to prepare first, and then we will try to start the test. And then mind you that I will only play the recording once, so that there will be no repetition in the IELTS test for the audio file, and then we will have to answer all of these questions in one go. So shall we?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right then.
Oh, by the way,
So
yeah, let's go. I'm using the computer as well, so we can be fair. Yeah.
of course, yeah, no cheating as well. I think both
No
of us are
cheating.
already fair. Let's have a fair match. All
Fair
right then.
match.
Okay, so in order, before we begin, I would like Miss Rezu to tell me whether you can hear this recording or not. I will play it.
Okay.
Test 4. You will hear a
Yes.
number of
I think you guys can also hear it. All right. So let's try to do this in the normal pacing of the IELTS test. Be prepared with your paper or Microsoft Word or anything, and then let's do our best, guys. Good luck for all of us. Let's go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a customer phoning a builder to discuss some work she would like him to do on her home. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Thorndike's?
Good morning. Is that Mr. Thorndyke?
Speaking. How can I help?
I've got quite a few things which need painting and fixing in the flat, and I wonder whether you'd be able to do the work.
I'm sure I'd be able to help, but let me take down a few details.
Yes, of course.
Well, firstly, how did you hear about us?
It was my friend May Hampton.
The customer heard of the builder from her friend, so friend has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Thorndike's?
Good morning. Is that Mr. Thorndyke?
Speaking. How can I help?
I've got quite a few things which need painting and fixing in the flat, and I wonder whether you'd be able to do the work.
I'm sure I'd be able to help, but let me take down a few details.
Yes, of course.
Well, firstly, how did you hear about us?
It was my friend May Hampton. You did some excellent work for her a couple of years ago. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, that was in West Park Flats. Lovely lady.
Yes, she is.
And what's your name, please?
It's Edith Pargeter.
Edith. Can you spell your surname, please?
It's Pargeter.
Double T, right. And do you live in West Park Flats as well?
No, actually, it's East Park, flat 4.
Oh, right. That's over the road, I seem to remember. Quite difficult to get to.
Yes, it's at the back of the library.
Right, I know. And what's your phone number?
875-934. But I'm out a great deal in the afternoons and evenings.
So, would the best time to ring you be in the morning?
Yes.
Fine, I've made a note of that. Can I just ask, I'll be in a van, and I know parking's rather difficult round your flat. Where would you recommend?
Well, I always tell people in larger vehicles to park by the post box on the other side of the road from the entrance.
Good, thanks.
And will you be able to give me a full itemised quote?
Oh, yes, I'll list all the jobs separately with individual prices.
That'd be a great help.
No problem.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Now, what would you like me to do?
Firstly, and most urgently, is in the kitchen. With all the weather damage, the glass in the door has cracked and I'd need that fixing.
I presume you mean replacing?
Oh, yes, and as soon as possible.
What I'll do is come round tomorrow morning and do that immediately.
Oh, thank you so much. The other things aren't so urgent, but...
Now, I'll make a note of everything you want doing.
Well, in the kitchen, I'd like some painting doing.
All the kitchen walls?
Just the area over the cooker. It's very greasy.
Right, it does tend to get that way.
Yes.
Well, if you want a proper job done, what I'd need to do is strip the old paint and plaster it about a week before I paint it.
Of course. Now, May tells me you also do work in the garden.
That's right.
Well, I'd like you to replace a fence.
Just one?
Yes, at the far end.
Fine, shouldn't be a problem.
And that's the lot.
Fine. Yeah, as I say, I can come round tomorrow morning to look over things with you.
Well, that's great, thank you.
So, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at...
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Wow. How was it, Ms. Raju, for the first section?
Fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah. I hope that
Fantastic.
all of us are doing fantastically. So, yeah. But for now, let us...
Fantastic in the bad way.
Let's hope that it will not be that bad, maybe. And let's hope that we did our best for the first section. Well, all right then.
I hope.
Shall we move on to the second section?
Let's go.
Let's go,
Second section.
indeed. Multiple choices. Interesting.
Section 2.
My enemy.
You will hear a recorded talk giving an introduction to the historical theme park of Manham Riverport in England. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Welcome to Manham Port, where 1,000 years of history are brought to life. All the family can enjoy a day out at Manham, visit our copper mine, see models of the machinery it used, have your photo taken in 19th century costume, experience at first hand how people lived at different stages throughout history, and especially how children studied, worked and played. The port of Manham is located in beautiful and peaceful countryside, on a bend in the great River Avon, and developed here because it's the highest navigable point of the Avon. Boats can go no higher up this river, and proved a handy place to load and unload cargo to and from the sea, which is over 23 miles away. A small port was already established here when, about 900 years ago, tin was discovered nearby, though it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution, when a tremendous need for metals of all kinds developed, that Manham expanded to become one of the busiest ports in the country. And because it was already so busy, prospectors began to look for other minerals, and by the end of the 19th century, lead, copper, manganese and arsenic were added to the cargoes leaving Manham. In the early days, the ores had been smelted or processed in the same area they were mined. But as demand grew, the smelting process required huge factory furnaces or fires to melt the metal from the rock, and there was not enough coal in the local area, so the rocks containing minerals had to be shipped long distances. Sadly, in the 20th century, the great port of Manham declined, and thousands of workers were forced to emigrate out of the area. The building at the port fell into disrepair, and the place became almost forgotten. But then the Manham Trust was formed to conserve the historical resources of the area. It organised scores of local volunteers to remove undergrowth to find the original outlines of the installations. It then brought in paid professionals to match installations with maps of the original port complex and to set about reconstructing it. Today, you can see the results of this ambitious programme of restoration. The intention and we believe this will be realised before the end of the year, is to return Manham Port to the condition it reached at its peak as the greatest copper port in the country.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
But what can you do and see on your visit today? Here are just a few highlights. We suggest you start with the visit to the copper mine. Travel on converted mining trains and journey into the depths of the mountain along seams once worked by hundreds of miners. Watch out especially for the great pumping machines which rid the mine of water. But please be warned that, like all mines, ours is very dark and closed in, and we do say that children under 5 and also dogs should not be taken into the mine. The next recommended visit is to the village school. While looking round the classrooms, take a special look at our display of games, which is one of the largest in the world. And it's recommended that you time your visit to coincide with a guided tour. This will give you the opportunity to ask lots of questions. Near the school is the beautiful old sailing ketch called the George. You're welcome to board the boat and look round the cabins. Look out for the ship's wheel, which was missing until only 5 years ago when it was dredged out of the silt by a local fisherman. We have no idea how it got there, but it's been polished and proudly restored to its original place on the boat. Please take care going down the ladders if you wish to visit the lower deck. We don't recommend you allow young children to use them. So we hope you have a memorable visit to Manham Port, and will tell your friends all about us.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now I understand why multiple choice is your enemy.
Yes, I hate it so much.
That was some epic questions from the multiple choices, actually. Wow, I'm quite surprised, yeah.
I hate it.
Well, we'll see later, but I hope that we did our best in that one, because that one was, wow, okay. Not bad, not bad. Quite surprising, indeed.
Yes.
Well, shall we move on to the third one?
Sure.
And mind you that the listening test contains 4 sections, all right? So starting from section 3, the audio will be a little bit longer in duration. So that's why maintaining your focus would be the key in order to answer these questions. Shall we, Miss Raju?
So,
Let's go then.
Section 3. You will hear 2 psychology students called Tim and Laura talking about Laura's work placement. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Hi, Laura. Could you spare a few minutes to talk about the work placement you did last summer? I'm thinking of doing one myself.
Hi, Tim. Sure.
Didn't you do yours at an environmental services company?
That's right. It's only a very small company, and they needed someone to produce a company brochure. And I wanted to get some business experience because I'm interested in a career in occupational psychology in a business environment. It was good because I had overall responsibility for the project.
What kind of skills do you think you developed on the placement? I mean, apart from the ones you already had. Did you have to do all the artwork for the brochure, the layout and everything?
We hired the services of a professional photographer for that. I did have to use my IT skills to a certain extent because I cut and pasted text from marketing leaflets. But that didn't involve anything I hadn't done before.
Do you think you got any better at managing your time and prioritizing things? You always used to say you had trouble with that.
Oh, definitely. There was so much pressure to meet the project deadline. And I also got better at explaining things and asserting my opinions, because I had to have weekly consultations with the marketing manager and give him a progress report.
It sounds as if you got a lot out of it then.
Absolutely. It was really worthwhile. But, the company benefited too.
Yes, they must have done. After all, if they'd used a professional advertising agency to produce their brochure instead of doing it in-house, presumably they'd have paid a lot more.
Oh, yes. I worked it out. It would have been 250% more, and I thought the end result was good, even though we did everything on site. The company has quite a powerful computer, and I managed to borrow some scanning software from the university. The new brochure looks really professional. It enhances the image of the company straight away.
So, in the long run, it should help them to attract clients and improve their sales figures?
That's the idea, yeah.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30.
Okay.
Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Well, all in all, it sounds very positive. I think I'll go ahead and apply for a placement myself. How do I go about it?
It's easy enough to do, because there's a government agency called STEP, STEP, that organizes placements for students. You should start by getting their booklet with all the details. I expect you can download one from their website.
Actually, they've got copies in the psychology department. I've seen them there. I'll just go to the office and pick one up.
Right. And then, if I were you, after I'd looked at it, I'd go over all the options with someone.
I suppose I should ask my tutor's advice. He knows more about me than anyone.
One of the career officers would be better. They've got more knowledge about the jobs market than your personal tutor would have.
Okay.
And then, when you know what you want, you can register with STEP. You'll find their address in the booklet. And once you've registered, they assign you to a mentor who looks after your application.
And then I suppose you just sit back and wait till you hear something?
They told me at the careers office that it's best to be proactive and get updates yourself by checking the website for new placement alerts. Your mentor is supposed to keep you informed, but you can't rely on that.
I don't suppose it's a good idea to get in touch with companies directly, is it?
Not really. But it is the company who notifies you if they want you to go for an interview. You get a letter of invitation or an email from personnel department.
And do I reply directly to them?
Yes, you do. STEP only gets involved again once you've been made a job offer.
Right. So once you've had an interview, you should let your mentor know what the outcome is? I mean, whether you're offered a job and whether you've decided to accept it?
That's right. They'll inform the careers office once a placement has been agreed, so you don't have to do that.
Is that all then?
More or less. Only once you've accepted an offer, you'll probably have to supply a reference, because the placement will be conditional on that. And that's something you should ask your own tutor to provide. He knows about your academic ability and also about your qualities, like reliability.
Well, thanks very much for the information. I'm starting to look forward to...
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
That was definitely something.
Yeah, definitely.
If you had seen my facial expression during the whole section 3, it would be so variety, it's like shocked and then wow, okay. But yeah, that was actually not bad. Not bad at all, not bad at all. But what do you think, Mr. Renju?
Yeah. The first multiple choice, as you know, my MME is multiple choice. The first 4 is like hell.
Agreed. That
Yeah, that
was
one.
quite challenging as well, yeah, because there are a lot of similar words and sentences. So yeah, that was like almost like a hell, maybe like hell.
Yes.
Oh wow. Well then, we still have one more section, and that is the final one, which is section 4, and it talks about nanotechnology. Wow. I am sure that this will go well.
Multiple choice again, so
Starting off with multiple choice, but we will end up with this, I guess. So yeah, I think it's not bad. All right then. So are you ready for the final section?
yes, let's go.
All right then, let's go, guys. One more section and then we are done.
Section 4. You will hear a woman talking to a group of first-year science undergraduates about the developing science of nanotechnology. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today we're going to look at an important area of science, namely nanotechnology. So, what is it? Nano means tiny, so it's science and engineering on the scale of atoms and molecules. The idea is that by controlling and rearranging atoms, you can literally create anything. However, as we'll see, the science of the small has some big implications, affecting us in many ways. There's no doubt that nanotechnology promises so much for civilization. However, all new technologies have their teething problems. And with nanotechnology, society often gets the wrong idea about its capabilities. Numerous science fiction books and movies have raised people's fears about nanotechnology, with scenarios such as inserting little nanorobots into your body that monitor everything you do without you realizing it, or self-replicating nanorobots that eventually take over the world. So, how do we safeguard such a potentially powerful technology? Some scientists recommend that nanoparticles be treated as new chemicals, with separate safety tests and clear labelling. They believe that greater care should also be taken with nanoparticles in laboratories and factories. Others have called for a withdrawal of new nanoproducts, such as cosmetics, and a temporary halt to many kinds of nanotech research. But as far as I'm concerned, there's a need to plough ahead with the discoveries and applications of nanotechnology. I really believe that most scientists would welcome a way to guard against unethical uses of such technology. We can't go around thinking that all innovation is bad, all advancement is bad. As with the debate about any new technology, it is how you use it that's important. So, let's look at some of its possible uses.
Okay.
Thanks to nanotechnology, there could be a major breakthrough in the field of transportation, with the production of more durable metals. These could be virtually unbreakable, lighter, and much more pliable, leading to planes that are 50 times lighter than at present. Those same improved capabilities will dramatically reduce the cost of travelling into space, making it more accessible to ordinary people and opening up a totally new holiday destination. In terms of technology, the computer industry will be able to shrink computer parts down to minute sizes. We need nanotechnology in order to create a new generation of computers that will work even faster and will have 1,000,000 times more memory, but will be about the size of a sugar cube. Nanotechnology could also revolutionize the way that we generate power. The cost of solar cells will be drastically reduced, so harnessing this energy will be far more economical than at present. But nanotechnology has much wider applications than this and could have an enormous impact on our environment. For instance, tiny airborne nanorobots could be programmed to actually rebuild the ozone layer, which could lessen the impact of global warming on our planet. That's a pretty amazing thought, isn't it? On a more local scale, this new technology could help with the cleanup of environmental disasters, as nanotechnology will allow us to remove oil and other contaminants from the water far more effectively. And if nanotechnology progresses as expected, as a sort of building block set of about 90 atoms, then you could build anything you wanted from the bottom up. In terms of production, this means that you only use what you need, and so there wouldn't be any waste. The notion that you could create anything at all has major implications for our health. It means that we'll eventually be able to replicate anything. This would have a phenomenal effect on our society. In time, it could even lead to the eradication of famine through the introduction of machines that produce food to feed the hungry. But it's in the area of medicine that nanotechnology may have its biggest impact. How we detect disease will change as tiny biosensors are developed to analyse tests in minutes rather than days. There's even speculation nanorobots could be used to slow the ageing process, lengthening life expectancy. As you can see, I'm very excited by the implications that could be available to us in the next few decades. Just how long it'll take, I honestly don't know.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
That was okay. Miss Rezu,
Okay.
what do you think of the last section?
I lost some. I lost some of the questions and answers, so might be not my best performance, but still okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I also missed one of them, so I think I am actually I have no idea what score we will get technically, because yeah, this one is actually wow, quite interesting.
Yes,
At some
yes.
points, it is
Okay.
actually quite interesting. All right
Yeah.
then. Wow. So shall we check the
Yeah,
answers?
sure.
I wonder. Okay, let's take a look. I have the answer right here. Let's see. Ooh, okay. So are you ready? Yeah.
Okay.
All right then. So I hope that you guys will be ready as well, right? So we will check the answer and then try to make sure to check each and every one. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So let's see. The answer will be in 3, 2, 1, and there you go. Can you see it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, right. So guys, I would like for you to try to check your answers as well. If it turns out that the key answer will be switched too fast, just simply pause the video and then try to check them, while I and Miss Rezu will also check one by one. Let's see. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
as expected, yeah, the multiple choice is not.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
one
my
reason.
enemy.
Exactly. Okay. Oh, right.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, wow. All the expected parts where I get incorrect turns out to be incorrect.
Oh, section 4, I hate it so much.
I assume that's not good news.
Yes,
Ah,
definitely. Okay.
okay, that one. Solar oil waste. Wow. It's unfortunate that I skipped one number in section 4, and then I get one, two,
Yeah.
three, four incorrect answers. Actually, what about Miss Rezu?
4. Okay. I got 1, 2, then 3, 4, 6. I got 6 incorrect number.
6 incorrect answers. All right then. So
Yeah.
that is actually quite surprising. Yeah. I mean, this one is pretty challenging, to be honest. I didn't even expect this to be this challenging. And I mean, the topic itself, it talks about nanotechnology and then the Manham port. And then, wow, everything is, especially the section 3 is actually a little bit annoying for me. The most annoying one would
Yeah.
be the section 3, actually. But which one do you think was the easiest?
I think from both our result, I think part 1 is the easiest.
I couldn't agree more actually, because the speaking phase is not that fast and then the answers are actually clearly spoken. Yeah, I mean, they gave a little bit of what do you call it? A little bit of stress in their speech when they mention the answer. That's why. But many people would be confused with the spelling, so you have to be careful as well. All right. For example, the first number, parjetter, if you don't know English alphabet, then actually that would be a little bit dangerous. All right. So make sure that you learn your alphabet, guys, all the way from A to Z. That was very
Yes.
important as well. So Miss Rezu got 6 incorrect answers, which means that your score is 7.5. That's awesome. Awesome. Actually, that is not bad. Actually, that is actually good.
Yeah.
All right. And then I actually got a bandwidth of 8, actually. So yeah, hooray! I say with the
Yay.
bandwidth of 7 and above, you can actually apply for scholarships, or you can actually even go to universities abroad. Yeah, Miss Rezu,
Yes,
that is
exactly. It's
actually quite
actually
surprising, right?
more. Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Yes.
after this test, we noticed that of course practicing is not enough if we only do it once. All right. So if we get this bandwidth, doesn't mean that we can. This is our fixed bandwidth. All right. Maybe we can get more. Maybe we can get less. But there is nothing wrong with doing more practices, especially for Miss Rezu, yeah, who is going to take the IELTS test next month.
Ah,
Ooh.
I hate it.
I wish you all the
Yeah,
best, Miss. And I think doing this kind of versus math once in a while will be actually a good practice as well. Yeah, so that we can learn from each other. And that is awesome, actually.
yes.
So yeah, this one
Yeah.
has been a really fun experience. Wow, I hope that you guys managed to get good bandwidth as well. If you don't be discouraged, since you still have chances to learn and then to prepare yourself for the IELTS test. And who knows, maybe you can also reach bandwidth that is more than 7.5 or 8 like us. So yeah, nothing is impossible. All right. Wow.
Exactly.
And that is it. Yeah, that was an exciting text, to be honest. I have to say,
Yeah.
Miss Rezu, I think that was a really fascinating experience. Yeah. And we did good. We did good.
Exactly.
We should definitely give an applause, yeah, for us, for all of you as well who took the test. Hooray! That was a really
Yeah.
amazing job. That was actually really fun. All right. So that
Exactly.
is it
Yes.
for today's session. So thank you guys. I hope that you enjoyed our video, and I hope that you can also practice yourselves, and then you can also try to practice more. Also, then there are a lot of sources and websites where you can practice your IELTS test, or you can simply learn with us, of course.
Yeah.
Since surprisingly, we are tutors in this place, which is theprivateclass.com. So you can visit this website. I don't have any website in my camera, so yeah. But you
Your
can,
corner.
I think it's in my corner, yeah. So you can technically visit privateclass.com, and then yeah, we can actually try to learn and practice together. All right, so that would be fun. So thank you very much for today, Miss Rezu, and for your
Thank
time as
you.
well. Let's do our best for the IELTS test later in the future, all right? Thank
Yes.
you. Goodbye.
Thank you.